The people who have chosen the correct player will then all be drawn together, and one will win a trip to Gothenburg. Now, that is Billy and Carol Cumming, just on the right of the picture there. There's Billy and Carol sitting alongside him. They are from Coolgardie, Western Australia. As you may have seen earlier on in the programme, we linked them up with their family in Airdrie. They thought they were still in Western Australia. They were in the room next door. They've all been reunited, did a great night last night, and they're here to see the Tennent Scottish Cup final live. Lovely story, and they'll perhaps have mixed feelings about the result, because Billy, of course, is a Rangers fan, wife Carol is an Airdrie fan, so maybe that's why they weren't talking to each other at half-time. You don't see it changing though, Derek?
I don't think so, no. I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, if Airdrie come out and really have a go, but I think, on the other hand, Alex McDonald will be saying, hey, we're not going to be whipping boys here, let's still keep it tight at the back and not get a real doing.
Difficult one, really, because they can tighten it up and settle for a 2-0, or they can have a go and maybe go down 5-0.
That's right. I think they're caught in the middle, as you say, but I think Rangers now will be so relaxed. You know, the pressure's off them. The ones Robertson coming forward all the time on the left-hand side, which he didn't really do in the first half. I think he'll be coming up the whole game. Gary Stevens at the other side will be coming down the park, and they'll put them under a lot more pressure.
OK, well, the first 10 or 15 minutes clearly will be vital in the second half. Rangers leading by 2-0 in this Tennent Scottish Cup final. Let's rejoin Billy McNeill and Jock Brown.
Thank you, Dougie, and a measure of the problems facing Airdrie for this second half. The fact that in no cup final since the war has any team come back in a final from 2 goals behind. In fact, if my memory serves me right, the last time it happened was 61 years ago when Celtic came back from 2-0 against Motherwell and forced a replay, which they managed to win. So that's the measure of the task facing Airdrie for this second half. And the way the game was developing after the opening goal for Rangers, Billy, you can't see too much prospect of a comeback.
No, I think it's difficult for Airdrie to change their tactics, Jock. The tactics they've used all season to pick up tight, to mark tight, to not give an awful lot away. They've worked for them. It's difficult to see how they can throw them aside and get a result, because if they go away from the marking game that they've played, they'll open up acres of space for Rangers, and the way Rangers have now started to play will be bad for them and very, very difficult indeed. It's a difficult one. In some ways I feel sorry for them, because they had performed very well in the early part of the game. It just looked when they were getting into it, they lost a goal, and the second goal was really down to good finishing by Ali McCoy, certainly, but some very, very indecisive defending.
So there are no changes in either line-up for the start of the second half. John Brown has reappeared for Rangers, who carried that thigh injury for much of the first half, but was so determined to run it off. The referee Douglas Hope checks with his linesman. And Airdrie set off on this mammoth task for the second half of trying to retrieve a 2-goal deficit. And the ball immediately picked up by Spackman in midfield for Rangers. There's Paul Jack still in that sweeper role. And it will be very interesting to see what Airdrie do about this for the second half. They certainly have had a real tactical problem to resolve about how they change things to get back into the game. They haven't scored a goal against Rangers this season in the 4 league matches so far in the Cup. So it's going to be a tough task, and Owen Coyle is playing in an area of the field where the Airdrie supporters don't really want to see him, back there in the left back position for the moment. They want to see him up attacking, trying to add to the 14 goals he scored this season. So Rangers with the remarkable record coming to this final, having lost only 1 goal in the run-up. That was scored by Phil O'Donnell for Motherwell in the 4th round at Ibrox. And John Brown running freely there, appears to have recovered from that thigh injury. Derek McDonald there, taking his seat in the stand. Sandy Stewart getting up well. Here's Coyle, robbed by Stevens. McCoy playing it inside, trying to pick out the run made by McCall. That's Balfour. Kirkwood is in behind Robertson. Here's Kirkwood. It's well won by John Brown. There's Caesar. In trouble there, robbed by Mikhalichenko. That's why the recovery challenge was required from Honor. There's Chris Honor for Airdrie. There are players in the box, but he couldn't find any of them with that cross. Again, just losing his footing as he made contact with the ball. That's what sent the direction wrong. McCoy's headed on. Durant too deep to take advantage of that. And Walter Kidd lets the ball run. Well, he's sampled cup final disappointment already, Walter Kidd. 3-0 defeat when he played for Hearts against Aberdeen 6 years ago. A game which he didn't see ending because he was in the bath early. There's Durant. And now McCall. Mikalichenko's made a run. Has played into space for him, and it's well taken by Martin. Paul Jack was caught in two minds there. Sweeper, and it was John Martin who came to the rescue of Airdrie with some good decisive goalkeeping. An intelligent ball that from McCall, and Mikalichenko sportingly leaping over the keeper. It's escorted back for the goal kick by John Brown. Stuart McCall again showing a deft touch, which is not his main reputation. He's known as a terrier in midfield, but really a very effective footballer in that area also.
Well, I think that Rangers have conquered the midfield now. We've not really seen an awful lot from Airdrie in that department, and certainly Stuart McCall has been the springboard for many of Rangers' attacks. Played some very, very good balls through into the channels to allow Mark Hateley and Ali McCoy to break away from the markers.
And played the pass, which allowed McCoy to make it 2-0. Holding the centre of midfield was Spackman for Rangers. It's Hateley getting up. Durant having a long chase there with Sandy Stewart winning possession, the Airdrie skipper. Pass allowing McCall to make a tough tackle there. He was caught late by Jack. And McCall, to his credit, making light of that, getting on his feet quickly. So a free kick to Rangers, and I wonder if Alexei Mikalichenko may fancy his chances left-footed from here. Only two in the wall for Airdrie, allowing John Martin a good look at the ball. There's Mikalichenko. Well, he's already demonstrated immense power from his left foot this season, scoring some spectacular goals as he endears himself to the Rangers supporters. So that's a look, long-range look at the Airdrie end of the stadium, the uncovered east terracing. Up goes Spackman. McCall picking out Mikalichenko. Yet another excellent pass which bounced at just the wrong place for the Ukrainian. So Rangers clearly quite happy in the early stages of the second half, just to keep things tight and calm and keep their rhythm and keep passes flowing. There are no heroics required at this stage from Rangers. Airdrie have all the answers to produce. Headed down by Stevens. Here's Ian Durant. Back it goes towards Gorham. Satisfactory performance from Ian Durant. Goffling it along. Stevens has gone offside. Hateley made that challenge. So Mark Hateley, the man who put Rangers on the road to victory with that goal in half an hour. Robertson's cross. Making it goal number 23 of the season for him. Here's Gary Stevens. Royce makes a run through the middle. He's offside. Allowed to run there by Kidd, whose experience told him that McCoy would certainly be flagged offside if the pass went into that area. Well, a colourful young Rangers supporter. A happy occasion for him to recall. Airdrie can change things before the end. So it's out with Mikhalichenko and now with Robertson. Here's John Brown. Durant tackled from the rear by Stewart. Heavy challenge that, and the free kick to Rangers. Taken shot to Durant. Coyce tries to come off Kidd. Well, no Rangers player able to take advantage of that dummy. Jack sends the throw back, and the singing comes from the Rangers supporters now. They're looking forward to a second half of celebration. And I'm sure they would also like to see a scoring flourish from their favourites. Jimmy Boyle beaten to that by McCall. Mikhalichenko playing it long. McCoy gives chase. Well, that was a little bit ominous there for John Martin. Had the ball bounced high there, he could have been in trouble. The judgment was good. McCoy was denied. Robertson's header. Caesar there in plenty of time, but Hatley puts him under pressure. Well, Billy, if you were in the Rangers management team, what instructions would you have given at half-time?
Well, I think the important thing is they have got to remember and keep their discipline. And I think more important, they've got to shorten the game a bit. They don't need the long balls now anymore. They want to keep the ball and keep nice short passes. Don't allow Airdrie any possession. But most importantly, to keep their discipline at the back and not lose a goal and let Airdrie back into it.
Walter Smith not yet in celebration mood, obviously. Perhaps looking on anxiously there because Stuart McCall took a knock in a little exchange there with Jimmy Boyle when they were challenging for the ball a moment ago. Goss header helped on by Durant. Stevens playing it down for Brown. This is Hatley. Well challenged this time by Caesar. Alan Lawrence trying one on the drop there. Well, he didn't strike that with too much conviction. Here do at the back there, showing the diamond. As the ball broke off Owen Coyle. An awkward, difficult one that for Alan Lawrence. Alec MacDonald in the stand there. Hoping for something of a miracle, I reckon. Came off Stevens. So 10 minutes of the second half gone, and the Rangers supporters going through their full repertoire of songs. Obviously, feeling no tension now about the eventual outcome. Durant was held there by Coyle. Free kick acknowledged by Coyle. McCall to Stevens. Misunderstanding there, allowing Boyle to win possession. Back challenge there, allowing Spike to pick it up. This is McCoist, faced by Kidd. And McCoist felt he was impeded there by Walter Kidd, but it was Walter Kidd back in familiar territory in that right back position. So he coped with that McCoist manoeuvre extremely well. Stevens with a header. There's Sandy Stewart. All they could do was force the ball forward and give Rangers a throw. Bit of jersey holding there by Caesar perhaps, but there's no free kick given. Mark Katie looks towards the referee in disbelief. Alford getting up so well for that. There's Kirkwood. Towards Coyle. It's just a shade too high. That just about sums up the Airdrie day in an attacking sense. Haven't been able to put too much together. We'll have two flurries in the first half. Coyle and Lawrence troubling the Rangers defence. Chinook standing there looking Fairly relaxed, in fact, in terms of the Scottish Cup final, extremely relaxed, I would say, at this stage. Seems they're doing well against Hateley. Stevens, well challenged by Sandy Stewart. Hateley and Caesar wrestling there together. Hateley complaining to referee Hope, but complaining in vain. Caesar looks calm and unruffled. Helped on there by Kirkwood. Throw goes to Airdrie though. So to kick the final back into life, Airdrie really would have to think in terms of scoring in the next 10 minutes or so. Give them enough time to look for the equaliser. Goff trying to let that run. He's put under severe pressure by Balfour. The fireman in the Airdrie midfield. An uncompromising character. A very effective player throughout this excellent Airdrie season. It's helped on by McCall, but there's no Rangers player there to take advantage of that. So busy and effective in the Rangers midfield, McCall. Header clear, there's McCall. There's Stevens and Goff, and possession very much the name of the game for Rangers. They certainly can't come to grief if they have the ball, and Airdrie being forced now to work extremely hard to get back into the match. They have sent Andy Smith and Wes Reid out to warm up on the track below us. There's going to have to be some alteration, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see tall figure of Andy Smith thrown into the attack. The last big effort to save the match.
Airdrie have got to do something because at the moment Rangers are simply coasting. They're not bothered too much about lifting their game. They know they've got the game won, and at the moment Airdrie really need a goal definitely to get themselves back into it and give themselves some hope. I think a change is imminent.
An offside flag against Owen Coyle, giving the free kick to Rangers. Here's John Brown. And Mikhailchenko taken from the rear there by Honor. He seemed to feel that all right. Former Bristol City defender. Cost £20,000 only. An excellent piece of business that was by Alec MacDonald. Mikhailchenko, on the other hand, cost more than £2 million. Any damage inflicted is of an expensive nature.
He certainly didn't miss him anyway.
Very powerful figure though, Mikhailchenko, and he's written some tough challenges in his time. This is another one. The ball is played up here. He's trying to control the ball as Honor comes through him to make that challenge. Feet. Some of the Rangers management team smiling there. The character Mikhailchenko. Lofted in by Spackman. Up goes Hateley, and the first time effort from Ali McCoy would have been spectacular. Well, he's looking at another goal to tie the Tennent's Scottish Cup goal scoring record for this season, because Jerry Craney is still a goal ahead of him. He needs one more to catch him. And that was a very quick attempt. John Martin with that diamond formation in the back of his head. Visit the hairdressers this week, obviously. One or two of the Airdrie players showing their commitment to the cause. Spackman playing it along. That's too far ahead of Durant, though. Skidding off the damp surface. And McCoy's not only looking for his 5th in the tournament, but his 40th of the season, and what a fine record that would be for any striker, even though he's playing in the League Championship side.
Yes, it's a magnificent scoring record, and we saw another indication of why Ali scored the goals, because that little head flick from Mark Haley almost gave him another one. He's very sharp inside the box, and you really have to mark him very, very tightly in there.
And he's also prepared to miss, which is another great quality for a striker. McCall to Stevens. Good play from McCall. He appeared to be fouled by Boyle. The referee didn't think so, and he had a very good close-up view of that. So Richard Gough turning there to encourage his teammates to maintain their discipline and make certain that there's no slackness creeping into the play. Kidd misjudged the flight of that ball, but McCoist couldn't take full advantage. Jack playing it long, McCall coming in late there. He's been penalised. So there's going to be an alteration made by Airdrie. The next minute or two, they're going to bring on big Andy Smith. And he will replace... No, there's someone certain who he's going to replace. It's going to be a change made with Alan Lawrence being withdrawn. I'll have to confess to being slightly surprised about that, because it means a change in the attacking pattern, of course, because there's no point in sending long high balls to Alan Lawrence, and that certainly is worthwhile when this man on the field, former Peterhead striker, scored a hat-trick in the earlier round against Huntly. Goff's header. Here's Stewart, put under pressure by McCall. Gough beaten to the high ball by Balfour. Smith's first touch. Closed down well there by Stevens. Here's McCoist. Playing that into the path of David Robertson. Spackman's made the run through the middle. It's turned away by Paul Jack. Nigel Spackman playing with boundless energy again in midfield. Spackman, of course, in the losing side for Liverpool against Wimbledon 4 years ago in the FA Cup final at Wembley. Experience he doesn't want to repeat. Here's Haitley helping it inside. Swept away by Kidd. Smith wins the high ball, but there's no teammate ahead to take advantage. Now Gough. Mikhalichenko. McCall. Too far ahead of David Robertson. But still no signs, Billy, that Airdrie have any ploy which can seriously trouble Rangers' defence.
No, I think they've got a basic style of playing, and they find it difficult to alter that. They're still playing that man-marking game, sweeper in behind, and looking to catch Rangers on the break, which really hasn't happened very much.
Sandy Stewart trying to lead by example, stopped by his opposite number, the Rangers skipper Richard Gough. This is Durant. McCall calling for the ball in the middle. McCall goes down as he collides with Coyle. Spackman's little flick on allows Gough to break. Spackman took a knock there from Balfour. There's Haitley with a very unusual attempt on goal. The way in which he did it, I mean, not the fact that he's reluctant to have a go at goal. And Spackman's in some trouble here as Gough plays this inside. There's a good little head flick on from Ali McCoist, and Haitley trying the outside of the left boot to play it towards the corner. So Spackman took a heavy challenge there from Evan Balfour. That's why he requires that little spell of treatment. But none of these players, of course, will want to be withdrawn before the end. They want to be on the field. At the cup presentation, Archie Knox talking to Gary Stevens, being pulled back by Hugh Williamson, the fourth official. McCall, Durant, Spackman couldn't control that. Boyle was able to send it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Dragged out of play there by Andy Smith. He was very determined in that challenge on Brown. So Airdrie looking to throw high balls in for Andy Smith to flick on for Owen Coyle, I think. do that. He has to get the better of Goff and Brown in the air. This is Brown. Takes the return pass from Goff. Good running by Haitley and by McCoist. He's on his own for the moment. Needs support inside. Durant arriving rather late. So McCoist was very happy to allow that to go out for a corner. But both McCoist and Haitley still offering plenty of hard running upfield for Rangers. Midway through the second half now. We're in the final quarter of the game. Karachenko wins it back there from Honor. It's out with Durant. Back to Spackman. Well, you can see how determined he was to keep that down. He's trying to get over the ball. He managed that, but couldn't get the direction. Cross in there from Ian Durant. It was forced out by Jack and spinning awkwardly as it reached Nigel Spackman. Heavy downpour again at Hampden. Not dampening the spirits of these Rangers supporters, but adding insult to injury perhaps for the Airdrie fans of the East Terracing uncovered. There's Paul Jack. Headed on there by Balfour. Picked up easily by McCall. There's Durant. Stevens. First comes Haitley. Trying to turn away from Caesar. The throw goes to Airdrie. Good long throw by Caesar. So the ball thumped out by Ian Durant. It's a throw to Airdrie. And John McVeigh oblivious to the all-hand rainfall. Still living life to the full in this cup final. Remarkable freak of weather this. There's rainfall apparently on one side of the ground and it looks bright and sunny on the other. Here's Walter Kidd. Up goes Robertson. Here's Mikhalichenko. Robertson hurried into that clearance, playing it off Kirkwood. Robertson with a throw short for Brown. The ball was out of play though. Airdrie have a chance here from this throw. Caesar returns the ball swiftly, and it's a chance for Airdrie to use the aerial power of Andy Smith in the box. So a bit of nudging going on as the ball was in the air. Evan Balfour has been penalised. Although Brown won the high ball. Well, Balfour still enjoying himself despite the scoreline, which is Airdrie 0, Rangers 2. We've had 25 minutes of the second half of the 10th Scottish Cup final. 20 minutes left for Airdrie to work a miracle. We are entering a phase of the match where fatigue is liable to set in. It's too high for Haitley. But the Airdrie players really, Billy, have been forced to work so hard they could begin to struggle in the late stages.
Well, they can take a lot of credit from the game in the sense that they have made life very difficult and very awkward for Rangers. It's unfortunate for them that both goals that they lost were perhaps down to little errors and little mistakes, but certainly they have worked hard. They've made Rangers' task difficult, and perhaps that's why it's not the spectacle that we all had hoped it might have been.
There's Gary Stevens. Scored that spectacular goal against St Mirren a week or two back, looking to get his third of the season. So it's a throw to Rangers, which Stevens will take, and quite apart from winning the cup, which is obviously the single most important thing, Rangers will want to do so in some style, and they certainly have the opportunity here because they have lots of possession. They have a team which is justifiably beginning to tire against them.